Welcome to this episode of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode, we're going to jump into TinkerCad, and I'm going to share a little bit with you about the ruler. The ruler is the most important tool when it comes to any type of workflow inside of TinkerCad. So I just kind of want to cover it out. Maybe you're an old timer, you know all the tips and tricks, but stick around anyway. You might learn something. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the ruler out onto the work plane. So the ruler is up here in the corner, and we're just going to drag this out and drop it arbitrarily on the work plane. Now with it on the work plane, one of the things is we cursor over with the mouse here, you'll notice that the origin turns red. This means we can drag the ruler around the work plane and place it where we need it. And then once we move away, obviously it turns dark, and now the ruler is fixed in that location. So let's go ahead and pull a cube out onto the work plane also. So we have a standard cube. I'm going to change this up to 50 by 50 so it's a little bit easier to see. And I'm going to just drop this down to 10 millimeters. Now the thing is, now you can drag this cube around the work plane, you can drag the ruler around, and you can try to line them up, and you can also try to pull your hair out at the same time. But there's an easier way. Notice these two numbers here and here. So this is Y, this is X, and this is your offset from the edge to the origin. So you can see the little green lines here, the green shaded lines. So what we're going to simply do is enter a 0 here, and we're going to enter a 0 here. And now you notice everything is lined up between the edge of the cube and the origin. So you can also do this with different pieces as you move this onto the work plane also. So kind of an interesting little usage of the ruler. However, what I'm going to also do now is I'm going to pull a cylinder out onto the work plane. And I'm going to change this to 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters. So I'll just kind of make it simple. Now, one of the things, I want to place this on the corner at a 5 millimeter spread. So now I can do it a couple different ways, but one of the things to notice is this is measuring out. So I'm now, let me move this over just a little bit more. So notice this, I'm 4 millimeters up from the edge. But what if I want to set it to the center of this? So the easy way to do this is notice these 3 marks down here, and it says use midpoint. So whatever it says, whenever it says use midpoint or use endpoint, which we're in endpoint mode now, it's just the opposite that you're in. So if I want to go to midpoint, now notice this 4 here, I'm going to click this, and notice it goes to 9. So I'm going to do this again. So I'm at 4, notice 4, and then I click this and I go to, whoops, I gotta reselect this again. So notice I go to 9. So basically I'm at 4, and then my cylinder is 10, so divide that by 2 and add, which is 5, so I get 9. So now if I want to set this off center by 5 to the center, all I have to do is enter 10. I enter 10 there, and down here where it says 8, I also enter 10, and now I'm 5 millimeters off the edges, but I'm 10 millimeters center to center. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control V, Control C, and I'm just going to slide this over a little bit. And then what I can do here, just to line this up, is I can enter 40 here, and now I have the same offset. So I'm 10 here, I'm 40 here, and I'm actually have my same offsets to the side. So this is really a handy way if you want to put again, holes on corners to be able to line it up and have it proportioned correctly. Because again, the converse works here too. If I do a Control V, now let me slide this out, I'm going to do 40 here because I have a square. So if I enter 40 and I'm at 10, and then I take this one, do Control V and C, and I'm just going to slide this one over, and I go down here and I enter 40. Boom, I now have well spaced or appropriate spaced holes on the corner of my plate. So see how easy that was to do with the rulers, and the center makes it, this use center also makes this very easy. You can do it with the endpoints, but then you have to do the math to subtract from the center. So again, this is a handy little tip of how to use the ruler to line things up and actually create repetitive objects pretty quick. And the other piece is I could have joined the cylinders together and also addressed them that way to create the matching holes by using the ruler too. So anyways, again, not a really long video, but wanted to share these tips and tricks about the ruler with you guys because maybe you guys know about it, maybe you don't, but these are handy tips, and the ruler is the most important tool in any workflow in TinkerCad. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Also, don't forget the swag shop up in the corner, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.
Please click like below and subscribe to the channel.